Episode 227, Tank Slappin Podcast. Doing this one a little bit differently. We're doing it's not our first ever video pod, but it's the first one. We're doing it kind of the way we're doing it right now. So excited to try this out, put it on YouTube, and we're going to start putting more content on our YouTube page for Cory Texter Promotions. And this is a good kickoff for that. On the other side of the mic is my buddy, Scotty Taylor. Scotty, what's up?
What's going on, man? First posted video pod. I told you I was going to do this naked, but I didn't want to kill your viewership. That might have to be something that goes on OnlyFans in the future, but we'll keep it relatively PG for now. So, dude, good to see you. Good to hear from you. Coming live and direct from the kitchen with the pup in the background, which is alive, just so people know.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to check. I had, had to call her name, make sure she was good. So yeah, I'm in Florida right now. It's been a hectic week, just post winter throwdown. There's so much that goes on after the races that a lot of people don't understand or realize. Just sending out results for contingency, posting things on our website, uploading the YouTube videos, the main events content, highlight reels, talking to sponsors, putting out fires, talking with the riders and families, and setting points and results to AMA, cleaning up our signage, our banners. On the way home from Winter Throwdown, my van broke about 15 miles outside of Callahan. So it was pouring rain, and the van that we use, a fuse box grenaded. So the whole van shut off, pouring rain, side of the highway. Yeah, and just getting things organized after a long weekend, washing Cruz's bikes, draining fuel, writing down settings, Bodie and Jake. It's just so much goes into it that people don't quite understand. The a lot of work still goes on after the race is over.
Is this event just because of the size of it, like the magnitude of what you have to do post race? Is this a whole different animal versus some of the other stuff, or is that relatively comparable?
Yeah, it's all the same. Winter Throwdown's a doubleheader, and our other events this year will be the Mission Foods CTR Showcase events, which will be single event races, which is nice. It won't be quite as much work, but those races coming up, we have a lot of unknowns. We've never done a partnership like this with American Flat Track, so there's so many unknowns that are kind of not stressing me out, but I have to work through a lot of things on that end. But no, I mean Winter Throwdown's it's a big event, man. It's high intensity, a lot of emotions. Everybody wants to do well, and I was kind of joking around too with the kids that I help out. It's like we don't understand the magnitude, I don't think, within this household. Because we live here, it's our event. But everybody else that comes to it, and I'm grateful for it, but man, they put a lot of stake on this event and they come ready to show up and race hard and win. And I don't think our kids, especially Cruz, he doesn't understand the magnitude of how big this event is. It's just another day at Callahan for him, which um yeah, so and I don't truly understand what it means either. I mean, I know how big it is and I see the entry numbers, but it's still surreal to me how big the event's gotten and how many, people travel from all over the world to be there. It's a lot of work, and grateful for another year of doing it. And yeah, I mean, as far as the event goes, it was very successful. There were a lot of things we definitely need to do better moving forward. I definitely want to talk about some of those things on here. But overall, it was good. Glad it's over, and we're kind of just reorganizing, adjusting. I needed some time off, man, and just kind of restructuring how we do things at Cory Texter Promotions as well, going into these showcase rounds. So there's gonna be a lot of things differently on our end that I think will be better overall for our program. So.
With this year, you guys finally got lucky with the weather. So how much of a relief was that just to have things operate normally on a 2 day schedule?
Yeah, yeah, that was one of the benefits, I guess, for this year was no big rain on the radar, and it did pour when we were Sunday. We were cleaning up banners in the morning, and I was out there with the boys cleaning up banners, and it was pouring and cold, and man, it was a mess on Sunday. So we everything that you think goes wrong on race weekends, I am grateful. I was out there in the cold, pouring rain, and I'm like, man, this could have been yesterday, and it would have sucked. So weather was pretty good. It was chilly on Thursday and Friday, a little bit in the morning. It was very, very chilly. I've never seen frost like that in the morning. It looked like it snowed Friday morning. So that was challenging, but it really wasn't as cold as I thought it would feel. For me, it was cold, but I was expecting like death. And it wasn't terrible. It was very, very cold, but it was manageable with pants and a sweatshirt and a jacket on. And I tell people that come down, it's cold, but it's warmer than 99% of the country right now. So it was yeah, it was cool. And to not have rain, just checking my weather apps, all last year, every race, bro. I was checking my weather apps every single hour of the day. Like it'll be a week ahead. I'm just like every hour I'm checking 4 apps. So yes, it was nice.
Dude, well, it was very cold on Friday. This is the first time you talked about the frost. I'm in turn four filming, and I'm just seeing frost accumulate on my backpack while we're there at the racetrack. So that was kind of a weird phenomenon to witness. With how the track sort of shaped up, how would you sort of compare, how the track was this year versus maybe a couple of years prior? Pretty comparable, or I mean, it was fun doing the track walk with Dylan at the end of the night and kind of getting a up close look at sort of what the riders were dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, I the track wasn't great. It was pretty good. Like we did have a rider get into the 13-second range there the second day in qualifying, and I thought it was going to be me, honestly, like because I ride that track a lot, and I'll go out and I'm pretty confident in my ability to do like a single good lap time. And as soon as I went out, like the first, I mean, again, I went out and it was like 30 plus and open amateur. There was way too many people out there in qualifying. I gotta adjust that. Once I got out there, I'm like, dang, that's a lot of people to try to cut a good lap. So once I got out there, the first lap or two I did, I'm like, it's just not. It had good grip, but the track wasn't consistent. Like there were little like I call them tractor ripples, but like wheel packing ripples off the corners and turn one and two, it didn't get blown apart, but it just wasn't great. And then the front straightaway, everybody could probably see it was kind of cracking and coming apart a little bit. So all things considered, like if you would have seen the track the week before, it was so bad. All things considered, Dave and Lloyd at the track did a pretty good job, and it was good. It just wasn't as fast as I don't think last year was. Watching Cruz, I could kind of tell he was a little uncomfortable in certain parts of the racetrack. And then when I got out there, I was like, okay, I do feel this and I feel that. So, good grip, but just a little inconsistent, I think. It wasn't our best Callahan track we've had, but it was good. The groove got really wide on corner entry and corner exit. It's the same thing every year. Everybody wants the groove to be wider, and I tell everybody it's like you can make that groove the width of the track. Like it could be the whole track could be a groove and it would still be equally as hard to pass on because it's flat and it's circular. If that whole track was pavement, it would still be very hard to pass on. It's tracks that are a big circle and tracks that are flat without any banking. It don't matter how big the groove is. It just makes it hard to pass. Now ruts, bumps, a little bit of cushion that helps. um, I think the track had a little bit of character, I would say, where you could make passes when guys would make mistakes, but yeah, it's the nature of the track. You got to be on your game, and yeah, it was good.
You talked about a couple of learning examples or things you wanted to take from this event and move forward, apply later on. What are some of those, if you don't mind me asking? Maybe we could touch on some of that.
Yeah, I mean, winter throwdown's hard for all of us on my staff because we haven't done anything for 3 4 months, and then we won't do anything else for another 2 or 3 months. So we're all a little rusty. All the racers are rusty, but we're rusty too as far as our staff goes. And I brought Kyle Snyder on this year as a referee because I think he's going to be an amazing referee and he does an amazing job. He's passionate. He was a little too passionate over the weekend a few times. But dude, he got thrown to the wolves in a very, very tough event. Probably the toughest weekend we've had. So there was a few things that I didn't love. Like some of the burnouts, the riders doing burnouts, and we were penalizing them. But once we started doing, and we did say at the riders meeting we were going to penalize them. And then once we started doing it, we had to be consistent. We had to not, like, that's the big thing I want to be is consistent. And every day I stress to these riders, do not do a burnout, do not do a practice start, go right up to the starting line. So that's one thing. I was kind of bummed that a couple of riders did get penalized. But I don't micromanage my team. Like I let them learn for themselves and go through the trials and tribulations. And Kyle is he's so bummed this week. Just he's just an emotional guy and he wants to do the best job he can. So, but last year too, it was like everybody was saying we were letting riders get away with too much. And then this year we hunkered down and not let these riders get away with things. And then we went a little bit too far on that end of it. So um, yeah, we need to do a good job there. And man, I thought our flagging this year was the best we've ever had. Our corner flaggers, our main flaggers, ambulance is awesome. They did a great job. The gate was very, very, very organized, thanks to Mike Caldell and KK. My mom and Keely, they killed it in registration. They did an amazing job. I don't think we need to like do a documentary on the registration at Winter Throwdown, and it's so hard. I can't believe they do that. They sell shirts, they give out transponders, man, they do so much. It's so hard for them to do it. My mom's a rock star, and my sister Keely was doing social media, and Shayna was in there. Shayna could run the whole thing herself as well. Like she can go tear a motor out of a bike at the track, and then she can go do registration, and then she can go feed her baby. Like, dude, she's a Sacagawea, modern day. But no, yeah, it was good. We just need to be a little bit better moving forward. It'll be helpful at the showcase rounds because we are going to utilize the starting light lasers that AFT uses. So that'll be helpful for everybody. And yeah, and there's new rules too, man. Like, so there's some new rules in the AMA rulebook this year that I helped pass. And people we're trying to, it's the first race of the year. So we're all as a country trying to understand these rules. And one of the big ones too that I want to be transparent about, and I've talked to the rider, and I apologize for kind of how it was done is debatable and how you want to word it. But the backup bike rule this year, like you can use backup bikes now, and that's my rule. Like I pushed for that. I'm the one they tried to get that rule passed for 20 years and they couldn't. Now that I'm on the commission board, I worked so hard to give people an opportunity to use a backup bike. And the way it's worded in the rule book, and I didn't know this because when they went over the rule book, I missed part of the meeting because I was getting ready for Winter Throwdown. Somehow the verbiage got changed where I wanted the backup bike to be in staging. Like you can pick a backup bike and you're good. Somehow the wording it got changed to where in staging or on a restart. And I don't want riders to be able to change bikes on a restart because what if you do one or two laps and your motorcycle sucks and you're running back to the truck to borrow Trent Lowe's bike or somebody else's bike just because you don't like it? Once you present that motorcycle on the racetrack, the way I intended the rule to be, that's your bike. Like, whether or not, you have a mechanical or you have something going on, I don't want you to be able to change bikes on the racetrack. That could get so out of hand. Like I would have somebody's bike ready. Hey man, I'm going to ride this bike, but if there's a red flag, we're switching this sucker. So I kind of overruled that rule. It hurt one of the riders because he wanted to switch bikes, and you know, part of that transparency was that was my rule, and the AMA misworded it. So I'm going to create a supplemental rule for that where I don't want riders switching on the track. I don't want to penalize riders. I want everybody to race. Like I don't want you guys to travel to my events and not be able to race, but there's certain things that I just can't let get out of hand. And I think that rule, if we started allowing that, it would just get way out of hand with riders. And the rider who wanted to switch, it was for a good reason. He was having a mechanical, he was leaking oil. But yeah, that was a tough call there. And there were a couple questions too. I had a couple people email me about. So when the penalty line, when there's only one row of riders, and we messed this up. I was watching video and we were a little inconsistent with this as well. But when there's only one starting line being used, so you have row one, you have row two, then you have the penalty line. Um, if you jump the start and you're on row one, you should go to the penalty row. Just because that second row in the rule book, it says the next row that's not being used, I interpret being used as like being used at the event. Like just because there was only six riders that there wasn't enough to qualify for the second row, it doesn't mean it's not in use. Like Um, I think if you jump the start, you shouldn't go to the second row. You should go to the penalty row. Like it's labeled the penalty row for a reason. You committed a penalty. You jumped the start. So we were a little inconsistent there. And then there was a question too about referees trying to. Some of these sound crazy, but someone was upset that we were trying to push start certain riders' motorcycles when they would stall. Like we were giving outside help to get those riders in the event. We actually had a complaint about that, and we're gonna do everything we can to help everybody start their bikes. I'll be out there pushing bikes. Like, yeah, that we're not. That one was kind of. I'm like, come on, like we got to try to help these riders get their motorcycles started. Like we help everybody in that regard. So yeah, just a few little things there. Mainly the starting line inconsistencies. We again, we gotta be better there. And yeah, one of the riders, we'll just yeah, we gotta be better. So yeah, it's hard. Like I said, it's hard. I'm not making excuses, but it's really hard with that many riders live streaming. The magnitude of it is just unlike anything you see or do in flat track, just because of the live streaming and the amount of entries.
If you'd known it was going to become this much of a monster when you first started, you think you would have gotten into it?
I've said it before, it wasn't my intention for this event to get like super big. It was my intention to put on a great event. Like the fact that it's gotten big, I think, is because it's a good event. I was a little down and man, I was in a really dark spot this week, a couple of the days, just, you know, seeing some of the comments and people misinterpreting like how I was wording things and just kind of like I don't know, it was like really trendy earlier in the week to shit on Cory Texter and hate Cory Texter and it bummed me out. Like people can have opinions and stuff, and I've always been one to kind of I've always been a combative, not combative, I guess that's a bad word, but like I've always had to stick up.
Yeah, you defend the people that matter to you.
I do, and I defend myself, and that's just how I was growing up. Like I think the area of the country that I grew up, like in outside Philadelphia, and I was like a short, tiny kid that got bullied, and I had really bad anxieties and OCD, and I got bullied for that. I just got bullied a lot, and I've always, I'm the oldest of four siblings. I've always been the guy to protect my family because Shayna is just not that personality, and then we have Briar and Cruz and all my family and friends, and nobody truly knows what it's like to promote an event this big, but also have your family out there racing. To have my integrity question it was just it kind of made me sad. I don't do anything special for the riders I support. As far as like giving them extra treatment at our events. So just having my integrity question and then some of the likes and comments from people, man, it just bummed me out. Like people that I thought were my friends, like are chiming in and like you can disagree with me, but to chime in publicly and like basically act like I'm a piece of shit really bummed me out. So yeah, and people they get annoyed with me supporting and protecting my family, and I think they're hypocritical. Like they all would do the same. You all would do the same shit. If that was your brother, your family, your mom, your sister, your son or daughter, you would all do the same thing. You're not promoting a race this big though. So like you look at it and think he needs to do this or do that. You might not be wrong, but you don't know how I feel when I walk out there and I see my brother-in-law's hand, I see his ligament sticking out of his hand. I mean, it's a gut-wrenching moment for me. We can talk about briefly about the situations here and there, but you don't know
Yeah,
the
let's just
emotion.
stick on it. Yeah, let's just stay with that. So,
Yeah, I mean, you don't know the emotions that goes into it. I'm not saying what anybody did or didn't do was right or wrong, but and I'm not saying you have to agree with me, but at least look at where, sit back and look at it subjectively. And I thought I handled it pretty good, man. Like and nobody knows what was said to the riders like Fanders or Breyer. Like nobody knows what I did or didn't do to those riders or I was very fair for both of them. And also I laid into them. Like all of them. Even Eisenhart. Like that was a hard that was a hard move, bro. And like I said, I don't. It's with social media, everything blows up. Everybody's a different person on social media these days. Like some of these guys don't even come to the races, but they're always the first one to comment on social media, man. It's a lot of the Midwest guys. I don't know what is out there. They get bored, but dude, it's just every single thing is they're always negative. Like that 1%, my buddy was like, dude, you have 99% of people that support you, and that 1%, they're just the loudest. Like they're the loudest. They're always commenting. It doesn't even involve them. And it's always the same six, seven people. I don't have to mention any names because I don't want to give them I don't want to make them famous on the podcast, but it just bums me out. Like all the good things we do and I try to do for the community, and I don't do it to get praised, but it's the negative. Like it was real trendy to hate on Cory this week, and then all of a sudden people were messaging me, sorry, they're jumping off that bandwagon a couple days later. It's I'm a human and I'm a dad and a brother, just like many of you guys are, the ones being critical. You guys are a son, you're a dad, you're a brother, husband, and a friend, and that's I don't know, man. I don't. I'm always family above the sport, and but with that being said, I really take a lot of pride in my integrity and how I do things. So it's not my job, though. I've realized to convince people or tell people who I am as a person. My friends and family know who Cory Texter is as a person and as a friend, and um, I can't convince people. The people that don't know me, you're not going to know me until you spend time talking. Just because you talked to me at the races a couple times, you don't know me. We've never gone out for dinner. We haven't had a beer together. Um, so yeah, I'm an easy person to for people to give criticism to because of the nature of what I do. And the promoter, the racer, the coach. My son races and does well. I coach other riders. But there are a lot of things behind the scenes that I do um, that people never will know. That try to just do things for the right reasons. And I'm not fucking perfect by any means. Um, like I said, I was being petty, and I've gotten out of hand with you can't come to my race and this and that. And that's kind of my pettiness where it's like I either want to fight the person or I'm just gonna ban them from my race. And I need to be more of a professional. I was talking to just Gene Crouch and Chuck Axlin and Wayne Rainey, and I talked to these people I really trust and respect. And I never really it kind of snuck up on me the level I'm at in business. I've always been that not that punk kid, but I've been that kid from uh from Limerick, Pennsylvania that just had to grind it out and just have a chip. I had to have a chip on my shoulder to make it. And now I'm in this position where it's like, man, I'm 38, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a promoter, I'm on the AMA commission, I'm helping American Flat Track. I just need to be better. I don't regret how I feel about any of the things that happen, but I just need to be a little bit better with how I control myself. And at the end of the day, though, you talk shit of my family, man. I'm gonna support my family, but I just need to be better with interacting with people on social media because they only do it for the interaction. So, last thing I'll touch upon, I'll let you go, but I'll let you go continue the conversation. But I am gonna scale back a little bit on not my involvement, but my I don't want to be as open and upfront in my promotions as I am. Like I'm the promoter. I don't need to be doing the riders meeting. I don't need to be out in the track with a radio. I've always felt like I needed to be out there because I think a big part of the reason our events are successful is because I do have a hand in everything. I do push the event along. If you ask my crew and my staff, Dylan was like, dude, I didn't realize how much you do to flow the event. He's like, a part of why this happens is because of the little things that you do that I've never understood. But with that being said as well, like I'm gonna kind of delegate more. I'm gonna set people up for success ahead of time, and I'm gonna be back in the scenes, trying to be a dad a little bit, and not being the face of it because the mental health of of it all, it took a toll on me. Like I said, I was in a really dark spot this week, and a spot that I never thought I'd be, and I was really struggling. So yeah, I've had a lot of great people reach out, and we're doing fine. We're figuring it out, and we'll just try to be better moving forward.
Yeah, and honestly, like the interactions that go on online on social media, it's hard for me to really view that as reality anymore. And part of the negativity that goes on with a platform like Facebook and even Twitter at times, or X, or whatever we're calling it these days, is because it's fueled by outrage. And so everybody wants to jump on that without remembering about, people's humanity. It's easy to, stay behind a keyboard and want to talk smack about a situation. And the unfortunate situation, additionally with what this race is it's kind of the only thing for flat track that everybody gets to be, kind of feel like a part of, whether they're watching from home or whether they're at the track. It's the only thing they get for like months of downtime. So it's like, it's such a hot commodity and everybody wants to jump on and throw their 2 cents in because they've kind of been starved for stuff for so long. And you actually, unfortunately, become a victim of that situation as well. With the Breyer Eisenhard thing, man, I look at it like it's a short track thing. If I run into you like that, I'd expect you to react pretty similar to me. So, and I
Yeah.
also have to, for me, I have to remove myself because I'm not a racer. So for me to comment on things like that as well, not having been in that position and just being a fan, like there's a certain level of credibility I don't have when commenting on things like that. So I appreciate hearing from other
Which
riders
you're
and people
right.
involved.
A lot of people don't have that credibility. Like, people don't care if they have their credibility or not. They'll comment. It'd be like me commenting on like a synchronized swimming post or something. Like, I don't fucking know what that is. And then you have riders that literally argue with like, and again, I'm not trying to be like, dude, I've raced my whole life. And yeah, I mean, to touch on the Eisenhard thing, like I don't think it was intentional. I don't think he meant to
No,
do it, but man, it was just a brain fart. And you can't simplify it as well as, oh, it was just a racing incident. It's like, dude, at what point can you do whatever you want simply because you're on a motorcycle? Like, so if he just didn't do anything, jumped back on the bike and on the restart, T-boned him back, then we're using motorcycles to like I'm not saying what he did was crazy. What Breyer did was crazy. He should have never have done that. But at what point is what the other rider did? Like Breyer left the track that weekend with way more injuries than the latter. So I'm not saying like, dude, we can't be doing any of that shit. Like that's yeah. So that's the biggest thing. And yeah, like I said, it was just a bummer to see some of the comments and people. I'm like, dang, I thought we were friends. Like, it's cool to be critical if of like a certain situation, but then to turn make it seem like I'm just this horrible person because, because I think people think I'm a horrible person because I go to bat for my family. Like, I am like, I do go at people sometimes and but it's a response to somebody saying something bad about my family, man. So I'm not like randomly picking fights with people online. I don't randomly just go on there and start hammering people for no reason. So yeah, it's just I don't know, it bummed me out. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I do a lot of things wrong. And one of the comments is like, I've seen him act like a jackass before, and I'm like, fair. I'm like, dude, I mean, but like Cory Texter 20 years ago is a hell of a lot different than Cory Texter now. Take a lot of pride in, who I am as my values as a person and and every single person that has a problem or an issue at our events, I always take questions and I always try to explain things. And I've said it before, like you may not agree with the reasoning, but I'll give you my reasoning or I'll help try to explain. Like I'll never tell you just because that's the way it is. Like you guys deserve more than that. And you deserve like that's why I did the video on Facebook because our customers deserve more than that. They don't want it's not cool to have the promoter of your race online arguing with random people and cursing at them and stuff like that, man. I went a little bit thug life there and I need to just taper back and focus on the positives with the events that we're doing. So but I think what this week showed you is just like everybody else. I'm a human. I don't want, the people were like, well, he thinks because he's a champion racer, this and that. I'm like, dude, don't even mention that. Like that was old news. I'm just a guy trying to provide for the sport, trying to provide for my family. I'm just a guy out there, just like all of you. I have emotions. Most of y'all, all of you would do this. You'd be very similar in your situation if that was your mom or your dad or your brother or your son. Um, so anyway, yeah, we've learned a lot from it, and overall, man, it was such a cool event. Once again, like I look back and I see all the positive comments, and um, I got a lot of really cool messages from people. I did read every single one, and I appreciate, man, so many of them made me smile. I want to give, and I didn't, dude, I again, I didn't expect all of the messages of support, and I probably don't deserve all of them. One was Red, Jesse Janish's fiance, and that she wrote a really nice long post about me. And dude, I didn't expect that at all. Like little things like that really kind of dug me out of the trenches this week. So yeah, big thanks to everybody for understanding like who I am as a person. And I'm just such a passionate's a good word for it, just passionate person. And looking forward to yeah, the rest of the year. And yeah, it was like I said, I'm sure we have some things we can talk about with the event, but it was a banger, man. It was a good event.
I think passion is the perfect word to describe it. We got to see that on display. I mean, how much this means to a lot of riders who, got either their first win or were just able to come out and get a victory. The emotion that comes out of riders when they win this event, it's not just like, your typical local outlaw race. People get hype and it's a tough, like we talk about all the time. It's a tough, tough, tough race to make in almost every single class. I mean, you had nearly 30 people on 85s. You had over 50 in your King of the Throwdown, close to 50 in open amateur, north of 30 in your expert classes. It's a tough race to make, let alone win. And a lot of people who've talked to me about it recently, kind of they feel like it's almost as close to the old school Daytona short tracks as you can get with the competitiveness and sort of the unexpected nature. Like some of the favorites coming in aren't always going to be the all stars on the weekend. You can have some of these upsets, and you can have
Yeah.
people again who showcase their passion and how much the sport means, and winning a race like that is a big deal. So yeah, just yeah, moving on. Let's just talk about we can start with group one and the daytime sessions, move into group
You
two
want
and
to
some
talk
of the
about
daytime
the
there.
the Thursday a little bit? Because that's something with the King of Throwdown that I think, everybody with AFT, there's only two or three guys that win pretty much both classes. Like eventually you'll have somebody sneak in, win one a year, or something crazy will happen. But the cool thing about the 1v1 is you literally, I think there's 20 people that could catch fire and win that event. It's so unpredictable. Like, every year somebody new wins, and usually the year before, the year after, they're not even in the bracket. You literally catch fire. It's lightning in a bottle. If your starts and you get good momentum, that event's so unpredictable. I mean, I think the best guy in the bracket was Jared Meese, and he didn't make it past. I was at the second round with Breyer.
Yeah,
So
quarterfinals.
man, it's so unpredictable. Yeah, just for me to make Super Bowl. I mean, bro, I was 49th in practice, one of the practices, and uh and then yeah, to come back, and I think I was 20th, and then I was 10th. I didn't even think I made the bracket. I didn't even do a practice start, I don't think. Like I was like, I didn't make the bracket. What am I gonna practice? Like so I came in, and my mechanic Michael that was helping me from Turner Racing, said something. I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, I didn't make it. He's like, dude, you're 10th. I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's the biggest surprise 10th I've ever had in my life. Like usually I'd be 10th and I'd be like super annoyed, but I was like, sick, we're in Super Pole. And then I go out and blow my Super Pole lap. I was watching Jeremy. He was qualified one behind me, so he went ahead of me in Super Pole, and he did his lap. I was like, damn, that was a good lap. And then I go out and just literally blow the first corner of the lap. So yeah, just do yeah, the Super Bowl, and then the matchups are so cool. Like some of the matchups, you have Jared Meese versus Breyer, and then you had um Dalton and Chad Coase, who are buddies, and me versus Walker. We were teammates for the weekend, and I honestly thought I had Walker covered because I figured my starts would be better than him. And I got him on the first start, and I just didn't have the speed. He pushed me out of the way and made a pretty aggressive pass. I was proud of him. That was a good move. And then he smoked me in the second one. And then I was happy that he went on to win the whole thing, because then it means like basically if I was on the other side of the bracket, I probably got second, right? Is
Oh,
that
you
how it
probably would have
works?
won the thing, right? Yeah, and if
Well,
you
no,
lost
I
to
would have
Walker,
got
you would have won it.
second.
Yeah.
I would have got second. Well, yeah, if I beat Walker, I would have won it. So I felt like shit, dude. I was struggling. The track conditions were definitely not what I expected. We rode there the weekend before, and I felt good. Like I thought I had a real legitimate shot at doing well. And then some reason on Thursday, that was the slickest I've ever rode Callahan. I think it was the cold weather a little bit. I don't know what it was, but it was slippery. And I remember like riding around in practice, and I'm like, the hell? What's going on right now? Like I could not get any forward bite. So it was a cool event. I was really surprised. Like I think Breyer made it a lot farther than he should have, because his starts were so good. And yeah, hats off to Walker. He's a pretty good kid, man. from what I've talked to him, he's just a good old boy, and really have a lot of respect for him. It's such a fun vibe in those pits, man. I was bringing the energy every time I came back to the pits, man. I think we had a lot of laughs, and Kenny Coolbeth and Michael. I don't know Michael's last name. I just call him Michael Sig Kid because he smokes a lot of cigarettes. So in my phone, it's Michael Sig Kid. I have him in there, and then Trent.
We're gonna call him Mikey Darts.
Yeah, Mikey Darts. I love that. Yeah, and Kenny Coolbeth. I forgot Kenny was a part of the team when he rolled in. I'm like, oh yeah, you're fucking helping Trent. So I had my buddy Kenny. Me and Coolbeth are really good buddies, and yeah, I had Nickens over there giving me shit all weekend, and Mike Turner and Cage was really cool. Like, kid's got the goofiest brake pedal on his bike. I rode it. I'm blaming my non-sub 14 lap time on Saturday on his brake pedal. He's got like the lowest drop brake pedal I've ever seen in my life. He takes a right-hander on that thing. That thing's gonna drag in the ground. So, no, it wasn't that bad, but it was cool yeah, I had a lot of fun as a rider. I haven't been riding anything like I haven't rode a flat track race since Daytona last year. So, um, yeah, I was grateful to be able to get on the bike and just have some fun. The 1v1 was a good time.
Dude, the 1v1 is a great time. I like definitely great for spectators, for everybody there. That's not competing in it. You get the stands packed, the tracks lined with spectators too, watching it. Gets nice and involved from a spectator standpoint. It's so much fun. And I'll be honest, like when you first did it, I was a little skeptical about it. That's why I skipped the first year. But ever since seeing it, the second year of it that you had it, I was like, okay, I get it. This makes
It's better
sense.
in person than it is on the live streaming, and we had amazing live streaming numbers this throwdown. Talked to Gene the other day, and he was very surprised with our live streaming numbers. So, but it's more of a spectator sport, man. It's the 1v1. You just got to be there to see it and the energy and the guys lining up. And Trent says he likes it because this was kind of funny. He likes it because you can stuff somebody and not get passed by 10 people behind you. Um, he's like, yeah, it's kind of cool. You can stuff somebody and run them high and not have to worry about the pack passing you. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense, dude. So
That's one way to look at it.
yeah, me and Trent had a bet. Whoever got knocked out first was going to have to push the other rider's bike out the rest of the night for the walkout. And I think we both got kicked out in the first round. So yeah, we didn't have to do any of that. So that was cool.
Yeah, well, the sport of flat track, just in general, you need to be there in person. If there's any way possible to get to an event, I love live streaming, but if you're able to make it to a race, please, by all means, you need to go to those and support the promoters, support the riders in person,
Yeah.
because there's nothing like the event in person. But I'm glad that you were able to have been able to incorporate the fans' choice aspect the last couple of years for anybody that can't travel. I mean, it's incredible who comes from around the world and across the country to compete, but obviously we understand that not everybody's family can make a 40-hour drive or 12-hour, 14-hour flight to these events and stuff like that. So
We were a
great
little
that
off too on the amateurs making the bracket, man. I thought we'd have a couple more squeak in there. I guess Bodie and Jack Brooks are the only amateurs, but technically they're going pro this year anyway. So I was a little surprised by that, and I want to say it's not a knock, but I was pleasantly surprised because I don't want these kids to come in and think it's that easy. So yeah, it was. Yeah, I was surprised. I thought we'd have two or three of them kids kind of get in just because of they've been riding the amateurs never stop racing and they ride the tracks like that all the time. So yeah, it was cool to get in the bracket ahead of mainly Jake Page. I didn't want him to get all cocky with me. So it was cool. It was surprising, but yeah. So
Bodie and Jack they had a matchup in the intro or the first round of
yeah,
the
yeah.
what do you call them, pigtails?
That's
Had a little
Bodie. Yeah.
had a little dicey matchup there. That was fun.
Bodie's aggressive, man. Like he's not malicious. Like he just rides hard. Like I don't want to change it. I don't think it's out of hand at this point. Like he's not hurting people, but he wants to succeed, and it doesn't matter if it's Shelby Miller. I got a Shelby reference in here. If it doesn't matter if it's Shelby Miller or Jared Meese, man, he's gonna ride you hard. And that track's not necessarily a Bodie track, but I was surprised he made the bracket first time on that motorcycle, and yeah, and he was competitive. Just his starts are dog shit. Him and Jake have the worst starts. If either one of them would have got better starts, like Jake could have won some of the amateur classes. I think he fast qualified. I think one or two of the classes, maybe the second day, and yeah, his starts are everything at Callahan. If you can qualify good and get good starts, you'll have a good weekend. So that's about it.
And with starts, I'm glad you made sort of the adjustment on day two of letting the riders pick where they wanted to start in heat races as well, because it was almost a disadvantage on day one to pick bottom or the very top. It's like the first day it seemed like
Yeah.
you wanted to be a couple off of either one to get
Yeah.
that sort of launch, and so day two switching that up, I think definitely made qualifying
That's
even
how
more
AFT does it
beneficial.
as well. Like there's been times in the heat race where I'm like, damn, I don't want to start high or low. And AFT, it's a little better because there's only four people on the row. But yeah, I agree. So yeah, again, I'm trying to have things make sense and reward the riders that qualify well and do well. So yeah, a little adjustment there between days, and I think we'll follow that throughout the year.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, definitely kind of surprised that Walker brought it all the way home, but he's looked so good the past few months on that bike, has really sort of found his comfort level. I've almost thought that he's at times too nice. So seeing a little bit of aggression out of him this weekend, I think will bode very well for him moving into 2026. And you can get that aggression when you're more comfortable on the bike, right?
Yeah, those bikes are really, really, really good, man. I'm a huge fan of the Hondas right now, and to be honest, if I was going to buy and build a motorcycle, I think I would buy or build a Honda right now. I really, and that's crazy because 10 years ago, I hated my Honda when I rode the singles class in 2018. I absolutely hated that bike. I truly feel if I had a 450 that I was comfortable on that year, I would have won three or four races. I just really struggled on that motorcycle. So. Yeah, I really like the Hondas, and I think they're going to have a really good year. And I'd like to train. I'd like to have another shot on the Turner bike. I know Mike's got a spare bike for me at some point, maybe. I don't know where or what class that would be, but I know I can. I know I can run still with the top guys if I put the work in to do so. But yeah, let's move in. Like we won't go result by result because you and Colby did such a good job on your podcast doing that. So I'll just touch upon group one and group two a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And a selfish plug, if you haven't checked out our Throwdown recap video and you haven't checked out the main events on Corey's YouTube page, please check those out. Please check out all the podcasts I've talked about it. This event gets a lot of coverage.
Yes, your recap video, it happened, it came out right after the event. There's so many interviews and clips, and the amount of work that you put in is truly special. Um, you don't just watch these channels, subscribe. It definitely helps. It never will like be just we can't justify doing these with how small our sport is, the amount of time it takes. But yeah, subscribe to Scotty's channel. I love watching your recaps, man. They're uh like some of the footage that you get, you don't see on the Fans Choice. Like I think the Briar footage with Logan and that was like a whole different angle. Like where you watch it, it's like, oh wow, that looked way different than the Fans Choice footage. Or the Dylan Durrell, like you said, that track walk thing. That was pretty cool, man. I thought he did a really good job there. Um, yeah, yeah,
That's
agreed.
something I want to try to do.
I
We're gonna
like
get down to
that.
Ocala, and if I can, as long as the tracks will let us, like I would love to do that at the end of the night with different riders. It's going to be obviously easier at outlaw races. I might have to do some begging when I come to Daytona and Sonoy after your events, but we'll see. I mean,
I know some people. We'll get you dialed in.
all right,
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. We're looking for
Yeah.
yeah, because that was really well received. It's something I've wanted to do, and something that even Colby had talked about with like even on our show this week. He wants to maybe do something like that for the AFT broadcast. I think it would add a really cool element.
They used to do
Um,
that a little bit. Like I remember the one year, like Shayna and Brian Smith track walked Sac Mile, and then Breyer and Henry Wiles track walked Peoria. Um, Something so simple like a circle at Callahan, Dylan's ability to break it down and show you all the little character in the track. I thought that was really cool for the fans. So that was a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge shout out to Dylan and everybody that was involved in that in interviews. We talked a little bit ago about passion and the excitement coming out of Jackson LeBlanc in those 85cc and super mini classes. I had him flying under the radar, but man, his starts were he was nailing his starts all weekend and was getting out front, was riding really, really well out front. He might not have been the fastest at times, but he was holding his line. He wasn't deterred. Just really good maturity out of him. And the interview that he did with Keeley with us I was really impressed, man. The kid's kind of media ready already.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good kid. I really like him, man. We're a little biased because we see him down here in Florida and him and Cruz. have had some epic battles over the last couple years together. And yeah, he's a really good rider, and he man I don't want to say he overachieved, but he definitely like did his job, and he probably would have had another win. He kind of got shafted on a jump start call a little bit. It was debatable, but debatable toward him not jumping. So that's something I think we messed up on, and he handled it very well. For such a young kid, he did great, and their equipment's not the best. He just goes out and gets it done, and he's always been really complimentary of Cruz, and he's a really nice kid, man. So it was cool to see him go out there and the passion for him winning. Like that's what I tell Cruz, like, you got to find that passion. Like, uh, I think you can only get so far without that passion. You can't really teach that. You can teach a kid to go a little faster, but you got to have that passion, and he really wants to succeed and do well. So yeah, that was great. Jaden Nickens looked better, even better than I thought he would. Jaden always looks good, but I thought Jaden looked better than. I think he was the fastest rider all weekend. I think a couple of the kids maybe underachieved a little. I was expecting a little bit more out of a few of them, but um, Jaden, like when he'd get out front, he kind of would check out. I don't know what his best lap time of the weekend was, but it had to be quick, right? So I think if you were in the low 15s on an 85, you were cooking. So
He and Lucy seem to be like just by themselves seem to be the two fastest, just straight up. And then that one race on the super mini race on Friday where they just checked out on everyone.
yeah,
Um, and before Lucy's chain fell off. But yeah, Jaden was just hauling. It's the best he's looked in Callahan for sure. And he's racing
yeah.
some of the same people he raced last year, but just another year on the bike. And I mean, it was really impressive. And John had kind of told me that he thought Jaden was going to have something special come Callahan the weekend. And he's got to get a little bit better on his starts, but man, he's fast.
Yeah, and to be honest, like I think riding the bigger bike actually hurts him on the 85. Like I think, you can argue it either way. You can say like jumping on the 85, it'll seem easier to ride than the 250, but I think a 250 is easier to ride than an 85. So I think it's getting him ready for that next level, but I actually think it hurts him a smidge on the 85. And you can look at it both ways. Like I think Cruz riding the 50 Honda hurts him so much on the 65s. Like I don't want him to ride. It's the same thing. I don't want him on that bike. I didn't even want to unload it, but I had it out as a pit bike, and he was on me. He wanted to ride it. So I think riding multiple bikes, either way, like going back or forward, I think it hurts. It hurts you, especially like riding an 85 is so different than riding a 250. And riding a 50 air cooled is just like, it's almost a different sport than riding a 65cc mod bike. So I think it's cool that when riders ride multiple bikes, I think it shows more about their ability to adapt than riding just one motorcycle. So yeah,
Well, and you wanted Cruz to have a chance to go for that event record and wins too, right?
he wanted a chance to go for the event record because of the person that had the event record is somebody that we've known and he grew up with. So he wanted to. That was on his radar when I kind of joked to them about it, and he wanted to try to get 8 wins. But yeah, 7. I mean, he would have rode the Honda regardless. I cannot get him off that bike. Now he just loves to ride it. It's like a pit bike, fun bike for him. So, and also I don't have to pay for entry, Scotty. So if he wants to, whatever, like Cruz is a racer. I had some parents are like, why is he riding that? Why don't you let the other kids have a chance? It's like, dude, I let it up to him, and he's a racer. Like if he wants to race any bike he can, he's gonna go out there and race. Like Cruz is a racer, and he wanted to race it. So,
I told him I'd give him $20 if he rode like the very top of the racetrack on that bike for one main event. He said, "Seriously?" He was contemplating it. I'm like, "Well, the promoter might get mad at me for that."
Nah, whatever, dude. Yeah, he had a good weekend. I don't think he rode his best. I thought he was a little off, but yeah, four titles and 7 wins. The his starts were pretty good on the 65. The last day, I think it was Reef maybe wheelied off the start and kind of wheelied into him. And on a track like that with the top 5 kids in the 65 class, they were good, man. Like Cruz and the other kids' times in the 65 are almost as good as the top kids in the 85. I think Cruz did a 15.2 on a 65. So when they're that close in speed, that's all she wrote. And a downfall with Cruz as well is he has such good awareness. Like he came in and he's like, Yeah, I didn't have, he's like, I knew Reef was behind me and I didn't want to take any chances. I knew I needed to beat him to win the title. I'm like, I was so mad. He was kind of sitting back behind the two kids and I knew he was faster, I felt like. And I don't really like he thinks about that stuff at the youth level. I'm like, dude, just go for it. Like I don't if you low side trying to pass because you're trying your best, I'm okay with that. And he just has such good awareness of like points and like championship and I almost don't like that. Like, bro, just go for it. Like try him around the outside. If you low side, then I don't know, dude. It is what it is. It's a plastic number plate. Like I want you to try and ride your best every race at this age. And yeah, he's just like, yeah, he's like, it was bombed. He wanted to try to, do his best he could, but he was like, it's all right. Got the points. I'm like, and I didn't even know what the points were. I didn't know. I was like, I didn't know what place Werbelo got the first day. And I'm like, yeah, dang. But good job to Boston Werbelo too. That kid gets really good starts and he's a good rider. He got a lot of racecraft. He's a little bit older kid and they traveled all the way from I think they're Washington or Oregon. So
Washington.
yeah, for them to travel that far away and to get a win was really special. Like I said, he gets really good starts and yeah, he does a lot of things very, very well. So it was cool to see like somebody come in from far away their first time and get a win. That was a big win for him.
And I told this to Colby too, but like his family and Shelby were standing next to me whenever he was out on the track and racing, and it was just it's kind of cool just to listen to them and just to see their excitement when he was able to pull off that victory because he was struggling a little bit on the 85, but just seeing like everything
Yeah.
come together and all the work pay off throughout the weekend to get
Yeah.
that win on the 65 it
Yeah,
was
it's
cool to
cool.
see that emotion out of them too, just standing
Yeah.
next to me. And yeah, man, the family aspect of the sport is just, I mean, dude, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Additionally, with your group one, you had two different winners. You had split winners in novice and 60 plus. Just adding some big bike flair to group one. I love that you split these groups up. It's nice to have two different shows going on as opposed to just that one elongated thing, which I know you're going to have to do at certain events, but it does. I like how it splits things up and
Yeah.
yeah, it makes it almost feels like you're getting four different races in the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. It works well, I think. Got to see what we're gonna do for these showcase events. I gotta sit down and sort out a schedule. But yeah, it was cool, man. The women's class was good. 60 plus as always. I always wish we had more 60 plus guys, but they put on a good show, and Open Novice is a really good competitive class as well. So Group One was exciting. Those guys they all did a very good job in Group One. So
Yeah, and before we depart on that with the women's class and talk about just kind of like the beauty of flat track, I've given a lot of praise and I'll continue to do so. But Brianna rode awesome, not just in the women's class, but we'll kind of use this as sort of a segue into group two as well. But Brianna was there pretty much by herself, working on her bike by herself, out of a van, just like the old school, like what people love about flat track racing. And that was really awesome to see. And Brianna's awesome. She's always so cool, like talking to us, and she rode great. And to be on just like a stock bike, which at a track like Callahan, it's not always a disadvantage, maybe in certain aspects of it, sure.
no.
But yeah, just to be on a fully stock bike and be able to be so smooth and great seeing, almost, I think you had 20 or right at 20 women's riders show up from, the UK and the US. Like that was so cool. And I really appreciate getting the chance to talk with Jamie and Max, who came over from the UK. And Megan rode super, super well in that and in the 250s as well. Yeah, just
Yeah.
a huge shout out to Brianna for how well she did this week, and she got fifth at the night session in one of the amateur classes, which she's won heat races, but had struggles on starts and struggles in main events there at times. But man, to break through for that top five, like that was sick.
Brianna's a good rider. That really didn't surprise me at all. Like I kind of thought she'd be the favorite. Megan gave her a little bit, kept her a little bit more honest the second day. I felt like they broke away. I think a little. I'd have to go back and look, but I think they broke away a little bit. And then yeah, like Brianna doing so well in the night program. And then Megan as well. I walked over to her pit the second day. She's like, I qualified fifth, and I'm like, she was pumped, and I'm like, in 250. She's like, no, in 450, and she was fifth after the first qualifier in the 450. Megan was. I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. And then for her to go out and Brianna getting fifth and then Megan getting I think she got third in the 250 class. Like
Yep.
second day ever riding that bike. She got third in a very competitive 250 class. So really proud of the ladies who not only just raced the women's, but they competed in they leveled up and competed in the men's classes as well. I have a really fast really fast little sister, and I'm a big supporter of the women's class. So shout out to Tommy Duma for she's going to win a championship silver pendant valued at $1,000. And also a big shout out to Jess Reynolds and her family, Bob's Transmission and Auto, for donating a brand new Dunlop tire for Brianna as well, the championship winner. So that was really cool. Yeah, we can go into group two again. We don't need to fully deep dive. You did a great job on your flat track flashback channel, but and so much happens in group two, man. There's so many riders, but I do want to give shout outs to Dylan Durrell for having a really good weekend and also being kind of like a gentleman and like admitting that he changed motorcycles for that first day. He took the win, but he didn't start on the back row, so it was it just says a lot about the Durrell family that they just, yeah, we switched bikes. It sucks, but it is what it is. So I thought I want him. I don't know what his plans are. I know he's a little bit older. I think he's 17 or 18. I don't know what, like, I know they're not like looking to maybe have a career in the sport, but he's a great rider. I'd really like to see him in this new 450 Pro Sport class. So I don't know if you know what his plans are, but I think he'd be not only a great candidate to do it, but I think he'd be a contender on a lot of these racetracks. So, um, yeah, he did a great job. Try to think like Ryder Bitze was really competitive as he always is there. Braxton Reagan, I don't know, all the kids that do good did good. The 250s, it was Perryman, I think, was somebody I never watched race, and he was real competitive in the 250 class.
Yeah, Bryston was the only rider to win
Bryson,
in the day session and the night session. He got that novice win on day one, and then also got the 250 win on day one. So he was
yeah,
the only rider to split. Which I know there's limited opportunity for that, but
no, that's cool. Yeah, yeah.
just a cool feather in his hat. And then
Yeah.
yeah, Jackson Settle got the second 250 win.
Yeah, yeah, Jackson Sentinel was a great rider. And then the 30, 40 plus, you had Robbie Bobby who grabbed 3 wins. Adam Beldiga is a really, really fast rider, man, and he supported our event. Shout out to him as well. But yeah, Rob looked good, dude. He just he's a really good rider, dude. Like he could not ride for years and hop on the bike and still be really clean and a good rider. So he picked up some more Callahan wins and expert classes were just a mess of different riders and winners. And I thought Trevor Bruner looked really good, a little bit better than I thought he would, switching to the Yamaha. I mean, he was pretty fast right away. And Trent Lowe squeaked out a win when they're, just like the Callahan shuffle, baby, just pushing riders high. And then Trent snuck in there and grabbed the win. And Trevor Bruner won the Mission Challenge. I want to give a shout out to Jackson Sangles as well for winning the Cory Texter Memorial Dash for Cash, which is really special to me. Obviously, it's after my father, me and Shayna's dad, and that was cool to see somebody not random, but like not a top contender win. Like that was $600, I think, to win that Randy Texter Dash, and
Jackson's a good rider, but he didn't like, and it's cool to see him get that because he wasn't like up with like Dylan Ryder, Brody and Braxton and Budman. Like they seem to be like the five that were kind of like right up there in the mix for
yeah.
wins. And Jackson was kind of in that sort of, I hate to use the term second tier, but it's kind of what it was. But so for him to get
That's what
that,
I meant by random. Like he's not random. I know the name and he's always kind of runs well, especially on those kind of racetracks. But yeah, it was cool to see. And that's the one you want to win as an amateur. That's $600, bro. Like so that was yeah, it was cool to. And then he wanted a picture with me and Shayna after the race, which I thought was just a cool little gesture for him. I don't get to know these kids as much as like as I get older, I watch and I see, but we're on such different wavelengths now, like me and the kids. I don't get to meet, I don't know them very well, just as a promoter and a fan of the sport. So it's cool to meet them and get to know their personalities a little bit. Most of the kids are little shits. I'm just kidding, just my kids, but no, it was cool to yeah, to see that. That was special.
and then like you talked about, Walker and Trent got a couple of expert wins, and then Declan and Justin Jones with the big money wins at the open expert victories there, which was super cool to see. Declan looked awesome, man. When he
Dude, I was surprised. Yeah, he looked really good. I mean, he should be good on that track. Like that fits his kind of style, riding style, like just kind of two-wheeling, not make mistakes. His starts are really good on the Yamaha, and that bike looked good. So I was really surprised. That was probably the biggest surprise for me in the expert classes to see that win. And
I
yeah,
appreciated his little goon ride lap afterwards because we were trying to get things over with, and so he didn't get a victory lap, so you just kind of took that extra lap, just hanging off the side, going around the
yeah,
track
I
one
didn't see
time.
that, but yeah, that's funny.
It's fun, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then Justin, he had to come down like decide week of. He decided he wanted to race, and then was able to work it out to put a cap on the weekend. He was really he was up there in the top five all weekend. Like Trevor and Justin and Taryn were all up there toward the front almost every single race, and were really consistent. And yeah, for Justin to get that win there at the end was cool to cap off. I like that it's become a tradition for people to kind of burn out right there on the straightaway at the end of Throwdown.
Yeah, Dave from the track doesn't love that. That was tough. I was like, man, I was like, because it just kind of ruins the clay. I'm standing there next to Dave and Owen, the kid that helps him. I'm like, like, yeah, it's what do I do? Run out and stop him? But
All
yeah,
right,
it
so
was cool,
donuts
man.
next year.
Donuts are yeah. Well, unless you do donuts like Robbie Bobby, that was such a bad donut he attempted. Did you see his donut?
Yeah, I saw his
That
donut,
was
but he
so
took you on a
bad.
victory lap, so you
I
can't be
do
too mad.
appreciate the victory lap. Yeah, that was cool.
It's the most adorable part of the weekend.
He had to take me. I opted not to race the 30 plus then. I was just too busy. And dude, I kind of feel like not to be mean, but like the fast guys in 30 plus and then the slow guys, it's such a big difference where I like would have a hard time. Like I don't want to run into some like I was out in practice and I'm like I was so bad through traffic because I'm like, dude, I don't want to like run into somebody. Like, I don't know. They're out there racing for fun and for a trophy, and I'm this really competitive person. And like, it was weird for me to ride. Like, I don't want to ride 30 plus anymore. Like, that was weird for me. Yeah, I just felt like I was being a dick, kind of, and I was being really nice, but um, yeah. Anyway,
So
victory lap was cool.
you're in a conundrum where you don't want to ride 30 plus because you don't want to run into people. You don't want to ride open amateur because you don't want to get run into.
And I don't want to ride open expert because I just don't want to go that fast anymore. I can go that fast. Like I still feel like I can go that fast. I just don't want to. I don't want to get hurt. So I don't, that's why I don't ride because I don't have there's not a class for me right now. Like in moto, they have 30 plus A and 30 plus B, like they separate it in flat track at 30 plus, man, it's just everybody. So it was kind of crazy. I think I qualified like seventh in open amateur, but again, like my fastest lap, I think it was like my out lap. Like I think it was the lap I went out first because then you get into traffic and I only went out one session. Like I didn't get a good lap. Like Jake Page was, I was faster than you, mate. I'm like, bro, I was like, I didn't even get a lap. Like that was my out lap. So it's
Facts are facts,
facts are
unfortunately.
facts. There's no notes column next to the results page, baby. So,
Yeah. And I think we touched on it earlier, but Ryder Reese was the only guy to get into the 13s on the weekend, and he looked
yeah.
fast in qualifying a lot.
Yeah.
Like
I like him. He's a
he
good
was
kid.
good when I wasn't filming him. I was trying to find some clips for him, and every time I had the camera on him, he like slipped the groove or pushed the front. But then
Yeah.
when I wasn't watching him, he's hauling. Like the one
Yeah.
section we just kind of took off to race fan, man, he was on it. So Ryder, I'm sorry I don't have the best footage of you actually on a flying lap.
Yeah, I'm proud of a Ryder. He's a good kid, man. I really like him and I've been helping him out for a really long time. Just I think since he was on 85s, I was trying to raise some money to get him to amateur nationals and yeah, his dad they work really hard and blue collar people and yeah, he's gonna have I think he'll have a pretty good pro season here. He's a big time wrestler too, so it's hard for him this time of year to focus on flat track, but I think if he can kind of lock in and focus on if he decides to really focus on being a flat track racer full time, I think he could be yeah, really good rider. So
Yeah, apparently he hasn't been on the bike since September.
yeah, Joe. Yeah, I feel you, bro. Yeah, for me, like I said, it was Daytona last year that I did a flat track race. I ride the pit bike here and there, but yeah, I got, I don't know. I like bounce back and forth. Like one day I'm gonna like come back and race and win Sonoy. And then the other days I'm just like, I'm done, dude. It just depends what I drink, how I sleep the night before. It's like I'm change my mind every day. So
One of these days, you and Colby are both going to be back on the track racing each other. I don't know what that's going to look like or when it's going to happen, but you guys both
I'm
kind of have
gonna
the same
light
like
you up,
same
Colby.
itch.
I'm gonna light you. No, Colby's a good racer, dude. He's fuck man, he was a frustrating guy to compete against just because he was just a good racer, passionate, good racer. So yeah, I had to give a little speech to the boys earlier. They were talking about somebody and that guy sucks. I'm like, he doesn't suck. Just because you don't like the guy, like I always raced against, like I said, I was never a big Colby fan when we were younger, or Dan Bromley, or some of those other riders. But as soon as you start to take respect away from your peers, you weaken yourself. Like you have to be respectful to your competition. Otherwise, if everybody sucks you race against, it just diminishes what you're doing. Like you're racing against a bunch of kids that suck. Like give respect to your peers. You don't have to like them, but give respect to them because it makes you better in the long run having that mentality. So it would be fun to get out there with Colby and maybe when we're like 50 plus, like when we're a little bit older. Now we still like have this little bit of like we think we can do more than we can. But I heard him say on this pod he hasn't been training, right? So maybe I've been training at least. I feel like I'm in really good non-bike shape. So if I do maybe just do like a 50 lap race, I could be a little bit slower and still kind of have him covered. So
You talk about waiting until you're 50 plus, man. I hope everybody's okay. There was a lot of carnage in the 50 plus class this weekend.
it always is, man. It's yeah, I'm just like literally when they go into the first corner, I say it out loud. I'm like, just have fun, guys. Just have fun. Like, please. Um, yeah, and
Also, have you heard? Sorry, go ahead.
I always feel like when we like maybe overwater or underwater the track, the 50 plus class is next. So like I'm always like that's the last class I want to go out and test the track. Uh it always works out that way. So I was like I had Greg Boyle go out. I'm like, "Brother, go slow." And he did a good job testing the track for me throughout the weekend. So shout
He
out.
did. He did soil sample one time.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's like it's yeah, it's these 50 plus guys, dude. They're gnarly.
Well, a couple years ago, I think you had Davey doing track, testing the track, and he got a little high
I'd
coming
love
down the
to
front
have
straightaway
Davey.
and
Yeah.
almost high sided himself
I
too.
yeah, Davey didn't ride. He didn't race this week and he's hurting his win record at Throwdown. He's not adding to the tally, sitting on the sideline. So
He was playing nice. Rob still won ahead of Cruz, so I guess that's going to keep Cruz fired up for next year. Now he's chasing Rob.
Cruz doesn't care about Rob so much. He wants to catch Evan just because of the him knowing Evan over the years or whatever. So and Cruz has a little chip on his shoulder toward Evan right now, so he wants to catch up and try to get some wins. But it's so hard to win, dude. I tell Cruz all the time, like, don't take it for granted, man. Like it's you're winning races now, but these kids are catching up. It's gonna get harder every year. And again, I don't know what our plans are full time with Cruz either. Like he really wants to focus more on doing the road racing and try to. I'm not saying he won't race winter throwdown, but he might not be in a position to where he can go out and win these races. These amateur youth and amateur kids are so fast. So every win you get there is a blessing, and he doesn't truly understand that yet. But I think one day he will. So.
Well, and the good news is plenty of road racers come to winter third down anyway.
Yeah, no, we love that. A lot of cool people from all over the world show up and really cool event, man. I'm glad, I'm glad we did it again every year. It just at the end of it, you just have that Shayna in our group chat with our workers. She's like, I hope everybody's surviving the post-winter throwdown hangover. I mean, mentally and physically, it just takes so much out of you and my staff. And I'm just really grateful for all the people that work for me and support me. And that's. I love my circle of close friends that I have, and they literally keep me going. If it wasn't for them, I definitely would start. I'd be applying for jobs. I just it just gets tough. So to have people that believe in you and your family supporting you and having your back, it's really special. So shout out to my team for once again doing an amazing job, and um, yeah, really really proud of them and yeah, everybody involved with our program, our sponsors, Mission Foods, Parts Unlimited, Spectro, Motion Pro, Jerry from Roof Systems. Um, there's so many great people here. I'm just going to kind of go. Fredericktown Yamaha. Ian Riley is such an amazing friend to me and does so much for the sport and helping crews. And I love that guy, man. He's special and just a cool person. He just had surgery, so get well, Ian, you dirty dog. Appreciate you. Appreciate Colby, another one of my really good friends. We've come a long way in our relationship, and I love Colby. We need to have a couple nights where we can just kick back and drink some beer. He's a fun guy, and you as well, Scotty, for everything you do, your friendship, the channel, the support. Appreciate you, Yamaha, Dunlop Tires showing up to the event every year, tire services, and just all of Dunlop Tires support. DID Chain, the Shop Dayton, Dawn and Josh from the Shop Dayton, they help us out every single year. Whole Shop Power Sports, Eric Hoyt, my buddy Eric at First Impressions Racing, Mike Turner at Turner Racing, um, Bob's Transmission and Auto, like I said, Jess Reynolds, Randy Senef, Walker Porter Racing, supporting the 1v1. List of Paul Hummer from Colorado. Paul's the man. He does a lot behind the scenes and pro roofing and some of the people that donated to the Dash, Steve Wilson, Kent Grimel, Josh Bow, Don Stillwell, Steve Brown, Rich Bucher, Kyle Snyder, Pat Maroney, Matt Scaglione, Leroy Henderson, Metal Specialties. I know I'm probably missing a few people, guys. Ray Delasco, another buddy of mine from the SDTA, Kicker Audio. Um, it's
HDRT, man. Caitlin and Shane.
I was gonna give Caitlin her special shout out here. Man, she killed it. I was so proud of her, and I we didn't really like have that planned. Like she was just gonna kind of like help us out Thursday, and she's the first person there in the morning to pick up the mic, doing housekeeping announcements. She's doing the live coverage, the interviews. She's doing everything, and Shane's running their booth, and Owen, their son, is helping out, and I just love Caitlin as a friend. She's a really awesome person, man. You gotta meet like three or four of those kind of people in your lives and just like appreciate them, and like you and Ian Riley and Caitlin and Kent Grimel and Dale Jones and Debbie and just Mike Caldell. Just people. You gotta have these people that support you. My buddies Johnny Long and Dalton Winkler for helping Cruz. People always say that it's better that I'm the promoter and him racing. It's actually way harder. Like I don't get to spend time with him like I wish I could. And Johnny Long, Cruz kept losing breaks all weekend. It's not an excuse, just the reality of it. Like we just could not keep brakes under him. Every single 65 race, about halfway through, he would just the brakes would just get way too hot. So the Dalton and Johnny, they were up till 1 in the morning the one night in the frigid cold temperatures trying to bleed the brakes, and um, we could not keep brakes under him. So I'm really proud of Cruz for adapting. Like he had no brakes in some of the races, and he was able to kind of manage and sort that out. But yeah, shout out to them for helping, and Shayna and Breyer and Brian Bigelow and everybody that kind of helped us out. My buddy Ryan Connolly, my family, Sky Norris, helping us out in tech. Uh, Kyle Snyder, I've mentioned. It's everybody.
It's a massive event. You have an amazing team that works there. I mean, it's when you're actually at Throwdown, and it's I guess kind of one of the things that was bumming me out during the week, hearing how like things had transpired post event, because when you go to Throwdown, like it feels, and this is just from my perspective as a fan and quote unquote media guy, I guess. It's just everybody is really loving, they're appreciative of just having that race to go to and having that event. And man, everybody we talked to was just really grateful to be there and appreciated what was being done at the races. And we had a great time afterwards, just kind of hanging around, like having a few beers in the Turner tent or with the Dead Good Race Team guys. Those dudes are awesome, man. What Rory does to bring everybody over and having
I just
the
talked to
UK
him
guys.
today on the phone. They're gonna come back over for Daytona. So sorry about
Let's
that.
go.
My phone blows up and I forgot we're videoing, so I was texting back people. But yeah, Rory and them are coming back for. I don't know if that's like secret news or something. So sorry, mate, if I dropped that. But he's bringing some people back to do Daytona. So yeah,
Well, Jack got into the expert main event there at Callahan, and I think
yeah, he did
honestly, like with
great.
with the races, with the tracks that I've seen him race on
They'll be
over
better
in,
at Daytona for
yeah,
sure. That's what I told him. I was like, dude, your guys will be way more comfortable at a track like Daytona. So. Um,
hey, look out.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, hey, thank you for everything. Appreciate everybody once again. Uh yeah, I mean, one thing I said too, like the community kind of is struggling a little bit on social media in the past few years. I think social media has created a platform for people to kind of just speak out of place a little bit. It's good. It's good for a lot of things, but I think the community is not it's not what it used to be like in many aspects. So many people wish others to fail, and there's the negativity is so loud on social media, man. It's so tough to see. And somebody that grew up in the sport, man, I grew up in this sport since I was 2 weeks old. I was going to these pro races. So hopefully we can get on track and we can support one another, support other promoters, support, man, there's so much hate and everybody wishing each other to fail. And we got to get on track as a community, because we're not gonna be better collectively if that's like what we're doing to each other. So I think like I say it a lot, a rising tide raises all ships, and we need to try to be supportive
Is
toward
that
one
more
another.
online though, versus like in person, like at the racetrack? Or do you get a
It,
lot? Do you get some of that
honestly,
hate at the track as well?
no,
Because
I don't really get any hate at the track. It's mostly online, and it's like I said, it's the same six, seven people. Um, and it's those people, they don't really say much in person. I'm not trying to be a badass, but they don't come up to me in person and say anything, but they're very vocal. Like I almost think I'm cool with some of the people because in person they'll like say hi to me and talk to me, and then online it could be something about something that doesn't even involve them at all, and they're chirping. It's like, dude, what the hell? Like I thought we were cool. Um, and people are like, well, I want to stand up for what I believe in, and I'm like, dude, that's fine, but like you got to understand my values in it as well, like friendship and family and loyalty and like how do you want to stand up for something like that, but you don't understand anything where I'm coming from as a person as well. And a lot of it is just spite. There's a lot of spitefulness and uh yeah, I don't know. I can't, like I said, I'm in a good spot right now, so I don't want to dip into all that
no,
stuff. Like
we don't need to do that.
I need to be, my nickname's a bear. Like I need to have a bear mentality and yeah, and be better. I will be better. I'm
Hey, if you
emotional.
want, we can do a.
I
If you want, we
care.
can do Tank Slap and reads mean tweets. You can just send me mean comments, and I'll try to do them in like a weird accent.
Bro, I piss
And then
people off more when I respond or when I like it's a lose-lose. Like everything, like if I defend myself, I piss people off, and if I don't, then like everyone jumps on the bandwagon. It's like, oh, he is an asshole. It's like, really? Am I? Like I've donated to your thing, I've helped your kid, I've done like it's the stuff I see. It's like, dude, I carry receipts because like the sport is so small. Like all these people, dude, I've helped you or I've done things to it's crazy, man. It's
that's what Caitlin mentioned when she was on Scotty's podcast this week. She mentioned about how like when things are said in like a football or a even Supercross, like they can. It's not as concentrated as it is in our sport, whereas like it does have a bigger impact on something like this because like you said it is such a smaller niche community still, and I wish we were at the level of a Supercross, but we're just not there yet. And so when things they are more detrimental when things like that happen. So and we
yeah.
just, like you said, we all need to get on the same team with wanting the sport to be better and just looking out for each other. I like how she said we're all team Jesus as well. That was really, I really appreciated her insight on that. So yeah, we gotta just start helping build the sport up, and that's with just with everybody, and stop being like the loud, like you talked about, disagreeing and like having different opinions is one thing, but like to make it so hostile and having such vitriol behind it, like I just don't know how that's benefiting anything.
You can disagree with something without acting like somebody's a piece of shit. Like that's like where I was feeling this week. It's like people are really like acting like I'm just this terrible person that has no integrity. I give people special favors. No one's in my shoes. Like even my wife, like I love and appreciate Amber, but she's like, I understand where you're coming from. And I'm like, with all due respect, like you don't like Shayna does it. Nobody truly knows until they're until you're in the other person's shoes. They understand it more than fucking somebody random guy on the internet does, but nobody truly understands. And maybe I need to have thicker skin. People keep saying need to have thicker skin, but it's more so about like the disrespect online and then walking by in person and not trying to hash out our problems. And then you go online and you want to just be so loud and just acting, yeah, I don't know. So it's all good. We will continue on and try to, at least for the time being, and try to create really cool opportunities for you guys as a
And
sport.
you and I disagree on plenty of things. You're a Sixers fan, I'm a Knicks fan. We're not going to scream at each other.
That's, dude, I don't know if I'm a Sixers fan. That's such an up and down. Well, Knicks is probably worse, to be honest. But I don't know. Sixers have sucked lately. Like they're just so. It's like being an Eagles fan, man. It's the highs and lows. Philly fan in general is tough, but yeah. But we're all Charizard fans.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So we
Come
can
on, if you're not a
agree.
Charizard fan, that's when we're gonna fight. That's when I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to. That's when we're gonna
Yeah.
bring out the gloves. And
We
I'm
went
not.
to
I don't have a strong chin, so I get knocked out pretty easy.
we went to a Pokemon show yesterday and walking around, I bought way too many cards, but the guy was like, "What's your favorite Pokemon?" I'm like, dude, what typing? Like electric, water? Like I have so many favorites. He asked me such a, and like somebody was next to me, they're like, dude, you really do know, like I forget, it was one of the racer guys. Dude, you know a lot about Pokemon. I'm like, bro, I'm a sleeper. Like it's yeah. I was like, Lucario is my favorite. I walked away. So yeah, appreciate everybody once again. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're gonna kind of do that a little bit just to try to build that platform. It's more useful for us to have YouTube content. And thanks to all the fans that supported Winter Throwdown. I say it at all my riders meetings. I'm very, very grateful for everybody who attends. It takes time off work, takes time off school, and supports our events. So we're looking forward to the Mission Foods CTR Showcase rounds coming up. If you have any questions on any of those events, um, please reach out to Shayna or Dylan Deutschlander. I can get you their contact information, but I'm kind of taking a step back unless things are important that I need to kind of handle. We're joking around. I'm industry relations now. That's like my job title. But yeah, Shayna or Dylan or even Kyle Snyder can help you guys with any questions leading up to that event. Yeah, appreciate all support. And is that it on your end?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, tell Keely what her contract demands are if I need to have her as pit reporter for Daytona for our recap. And
Yeah, I
then
will.
next time we do this, I'll shave this nonsense off my face so we're a little
I
more
love it, dude.
professional over
Makes you look
here.
like a man, baby. It's like
Yes, finally, I'm a man.
hell yeah. I mean, I just shaved mine this morning, so that's why I had a big one, and I'm just kidding, dude. It takes me like 3 weeks to get something going there. But yeah, so I'm gonna end this, Scotty, when I say my bit, because usually we keep talking, but now I don't want to edit the vid. So I'm gonna and I'll and then I'll call you. With that being said, until next time, we out.